Hi, everybody, and welcome to Evolve Love. I am your host, Amanda, and I am so happy that you have found this podcast. Are you looking for daily inspiration, motivation, and wisdom to help you begin your day feeling supported and uplifted with love? Well, you have come to the right place. This podcast is a space of encouragement where you can be held in your self-development because in order to evolve, you need love, and it begins here with you. Now, let's get into today's episode. Hi, everybody. Happy Monday and welcome to a brand new week here with Evolve Love. I'm so excited for this week. I have so many things coming up, and I'm talking about this ahead of time because I record all of my episodes a week in advance. But there were a few things I missed this past week that I wanted to share as exciting milestones with you. And I have just some exciting life things coming up as well. So this week is going to definitely take a brighter turn. I know that last week we did do some work that could have at times felt heavier, felt more difficult. But as the week went on, we sort of looked at calling our power back. And this week's theme kind of goes along with that. So I'm very excited to be turning this page with you all. Last week, my 50th episode launched, and I didn't even realize it until now. So thank you all so much. 50 episodes. That is so crazy. And I'm so proud of, having this idea and really putting it into motion. And I'm just enjoying it so much. And so I'm so grateful to you all for being here and supporting me through this process. Summer is beginning soon. We have our first day of summer coming up, and I just feel, I can't believe it. Really, that's how I feel. I can't believe it. How is it already summer? I felt like it was just the first day of spring yesterday. So much is flying by. I don't know if you feel that way too. Yesterday was a new moon. I'm saying this as I know when this is going to record. So Sunday is the new moon. Monday, this episode comes out. So happy new moon yesterday. And yesterday too, I went to a workshop, which is partially where I'm going into with this week, because the workshop that I'm going to is an astrology workshop. I'm so excited about it. And I'll have to fill you in the following week since I record a week in advance. But for this workshop, I've been doing a lot of diving into my birth chart because it is an astrology workshop. And this is something that I've always had an interest in. I have really read so many books. I have looked at so many different things online, listened to so many podcasts. It's something that is very, very interesting to me. And I feel like so many people that I know of who have interest in astrology have heard of the birthday book, or I don't even know what it's called. But that was really what launched me into my interest, because I remember my uncle had it as a young child, and I remember just flipping through it and being so intrigued by everybody's birthdays and the information that came up around it. I always had interest in my horoscope, and through my adulthood, I really dove in deeper into it even further, even to the point where I started, giving chart information to my friends and family who asked, and it was so fulfilling in a way that I had no idea. And so I do want to preface this saying that I am in no means an expert. This is just an area of interest for myself, and I am learning more. I am diving deeper. I'm going to the workshop. I've been taking an online course in astrology too. I'm just really diving into the things that light me up. And this is something that I've always had interest in, and I'm just following that. So in preparation for this workshop, I was, going through all the details, and I realized that the moon is in Gemini today when I launched this episode on Monday, and I have a stellium in Gemini in my chart. And I was like, okay, I know that I've spoken before that my moon is in Gemini. I know that I've spoken about my grandmother connection with Gemini. And I was like, what are we going to do? It's another Gemini Monday. How am I going to add a new topic. And how is this happening that these moons are always falling at the start of the week where it's Gemini? So this week I was like, ooh, I think I want to talk about stelliums because I have always had an absolute fascination with stelliums. Now, if you aren't familiar about a stellium in your birth chart, this is something that we're going to be talking about this week. And so we'll get to dive into it further. And I'm not quite sure. It might be something that not everybody has in their birth chart. But basically what a stellium is it is a grouping of 3 or more planets or placements in the same zodiac sign or astrological house. So that on your birth chart, like if you're looking at it like the wheel, you might even see like a cluster grouping of symbols in like one area, and that very well could be a stellium. So 3 or more planets or placements in the same zodiac sign or astrological house. And when I think about stelliums, like even just thinking about it in this way, you have a big grouping close together. This area seems stronger, more fortified. It's like extra cement around the bricks in the building in my eyes. I kind of think about it too, like if you were building a Lego tower and you had blocks of every different color, but in a row you had the same color blocks and they were really strong and they were really supportive. Like that's the way that I think of a stellium. And in my thoughts, this energy, when you have more of it, it amplifies in that sign. It amplifies in that house. To me, it's like supercharged. It's a surplus of a given energy. And so when you're looking at this, it's almost like your superpower, what is the superpowers that you have in your chart? And have you ever felt drawn to things that you can't really explain why, or like people see a gift in you? Some of this could be related to that surplus of energy or support that is in your chart, because I am fascinated by how many times I will look at my chart or a reading or something comes up and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is exactly who I am. This is it. It was written in the stars. It absolutely was. Here it is. And it's funny because it's not that I am like trying to step into the role that I've read about. I am the role that I'm reading about. And it's nothing has pushed me to this place other than how I am. And here in the chart says it all. So today, stelliums. So I mentioned that I have a stellium in Gemini. I also have a stellium in Capricorn. This to me seems like very strong energy. And if you are listening to this podcast, you may already feel it, because Gemini as a sign has to do with communication, the flow of knowledge, intelligence, thought. And Capricorn is like the foundation, the structure, the practicalness. And so here I am with a podcast, using my voice, structuring this in a way that I'm hoping will someday become a part of my career purpose too, that this could be involved in business in some way. And so that is so interesting to me, because here I am using my superpowers, and I didn't really think about it until I looked at my birth chart, but there it was all along. So stelliums. Now, something that I learned about this week that was really interesting to me is that if you have a stellium in your personal planet, so personal planets and placements include Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus, and Mars. So if you have stelliums within those areas, it can typically affect your core personality and day-to-day energy. But if you have a stellium within your generational planets, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, those are more of like your societal themes, your evolutionary themes. And also too, making sure to take a look at the house that your stellium is in. So my Gemini, this is where it gets really interesting too. My Gemini stellium is in the 10th house, which is the house of career and public image and legacy. Look at me doing this podcast. No, but seriously, it's so interesting to me that like the combination of this communication, this, multifaceted interest, bridging in this connection to career and public image, and also to this notion of constantly striving, because that's definitely me. It's there. And yet I didn't look at my birth chart and say, oh, I need to make this happen. I made this happen and then realized it after the fact. And that's why I think it's so interesting and so, so cool. And my Capricorn stellium is my generational planets. So that is very interesting too. But anyways, enough about my chart. Let's focus on you now. So in this week, with our intention setting, whether or not you have a stellium in your birth chart, I want you to think about what are your superpowers? What are you known for? What do people commonly mention to you that oh, you're very gifted in this, or ooh, this is really your wheelhouse, or this is really your lane? What are the things that you are known for? What do people come to you for advice about? Even if it's not even career related, in your friendship groups, in your family, why do people come to you? This could be a part of your superpower. In fact, yeah, it definitely is. It is a part of your superpower. So in today, when we have this soft start to the week and we're building awareness in our week ahead, I want us to think about that. What is your superpower? What are you known for? And also too, what do you want to be known for? Because for some of us, we may be doing one thing, but we have a big dream to be doing something else. And can we take a look at that? How can we make that dream happen? Where can we see the superpowers that already lie within us? And how can we put this all into action for ourselves to make our dreams come true? I want to thank you all so much for being here for today's episode. I'm so excited to dive further into this in the week ahead. And if you feel called to share this episode with a friend, to pass on the message of Evolve Love, please do. And of course, as always, if you feel called to rate or review the podcast, I'm so appreciative of that. Make sure you follow me over on Instagram at _Evolve Love. And I'm so excited to continue this chat through the week.